425. I'm sorry, 325.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Just keep those for now, and Mr. Scott Lanning will be collecting those when we vote for our best speaker of the evening. So without further ado, please help me welcome, conversing with ease, Mr. Jerod Powers.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters.
Good evening.
And welcome guests. It is a great day at NorthJax Toastmasters. I tell you, it's hotter than the hinges of Hades out here. Let there be light. The importance of communication. Take a moment and think where you would be at without communication. Your relationship with your spouse or significant other started with communication. The job that you are at started with communication. My friendship with Jim Hull started with miscommunication. Now, communication doesn't come easy to everyone. Have you ever been to a wedding? How about a business function? Do you get the goosebumps just thinking about being around a whole bunch of strangers? We have some guests here tonight that they may be feeling that right now. But what Toastmasters does is Toastmasters teaches us how to blend in and assimilate. And how do we do that? Communication. Well, there's different levels of communication. On the first level of communication, we have small talk. An example of small talk is, boy, it's hot. You start with something that isn't personal. What do you think about the Lakers game? And you're looking for some common ground where you can just establish rapport with someone that you don't know. Now, communication, I believe the purpose of communication is to turn a stranger into a friend. Whether that friend is a potential employer, a potential business partner, a potential spouse, if you are not successful with communicating in a manner that turns that stranger into a friend, you can forget about it. Why do you think the divorce rate is so high in this country? Now, level 2 is what we call fact disclosure. Fact disclosure goes a little like this. So, Mike, what do you do for a living? Now, notice I didn't ask him how much he makes. That goes beyond fact disclosure. So, another example of fact disclosure is, so Jim, do you have children? But what I like to do better than asking those questions all the time is maybe divulge a little of my information first, putting them at ease. You know, I have a wife. My wife, his name is Frances. Do you have a wife? And then the follow-up question, do you have children? And that puts us at ease, but we're starting to get to a different level of communication. This level is where we're getting to know each other as people, and we can determine whether we want to go further with this person. You can always say, my favorite line, it was nice meeting you. And then you move on to the next person. Now the third level, viewpoints and opinions. This is a level that me being a radio personality and being involved in politics, it's hard for me to not talk about politics. But at this level, you don't talk about things that could be potentially divisive. You don't want to already step on this person's toes if you don't know where they're at politically, or you're talking about sex, religion, and politics. That's what they say. Now, if you're in a setting where it's already known about politics, you can go on to the next level where you can divulge more information. And the fourth level is where maybe in the next meeting or another time you have developed that relationship. So with that, we're going to go into the next segment of my presentation. At this segment of the presentation, what I'm going to do is Scott Manning and Scott has been here for a while, but I don't really know Scott well. I've been away for a while. So what we're going to do is we're just going to sit right here at this table. And you can all peer into our conversation as he's going to play a new Toastmaster, or a Toastmaster at an outside club where he's not familiar with people. And my job is to sit down with him and initiate conversation and turn him from a stranger to a friend to a Toastmaster. All right? How much do we have on the clock? All right. Scott, Jerod, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
So is this your first time at a Toastmasters?
I go to the downtown office occasionally, but it's the first time at this meeting. Yes.
That's good. Now, how did you hear about NorthJax Toastmasters?
A friend of mine mentioned it. I also found it on the internet, and Monday nights was a perfect night for me.
Good, very good. What do you think about this weather?
It is hot. Especially if you have to run or bike outside.
I hear you. That's why I come to Toastmasters. Mm-hmm. Because they have air conditioning normally.
Yes, and the nice iced tea.
Yes, and the iced tea. So what do you do for a living, Scott?
I'm a computer programmer.
Oh, interesting, interesting. How long have you been doing it?
25 years.
25 years. Wow. And do you have a wife?
Yep, her Lori.
Lori?
Mm-hmm. She's also a programmer.
Wow, that's very interesting. Mm-hmm. So how does that work?
We talk a lot about technology together 24 hours a day.
24 hours a day, techies.
Yes.
Wow. Would you consider yourself geeks?
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
Wow, that's great. So what do you expect to achieve? What do you want to achieve here?
In my case, very